Welcome to Ace My Exams Learning. Let us get started with today's learning.
Question. Explain the following components of the communication process. 1. Sender. 2. Message. 3. Medium. 4. Feedback. 5. Barrier. The above components can be explained as follows. 1. Sender. The sender is the person who initiates the communication process by delivering a message. They are responsible for encoding the information into a form that can be understood by the receiver. The sender ensures that the message is clear and conveys the intended meaning. 2. Message. The message refers to the information, ideas, or thoughts that are being communicated. It can take various forms such as spoken words, written text, or visual symbols. The effectiveness of the communication largely depends on how well the message is crafted and understood. 3. Medium. The medium is the channel or method through which the message is transmitted from the sender to the receiver. It can be verbal, non-verbal, written, or electronic. Additionally, it includes the way feedback is sent from the receiver to the sender, ensuring a complete communication loop. 4. Feedback. Feedback is the response or reaction of the receiver to the sender's message. It allows the sender to understand how the message was interpreted and whether the intended meaning was conveyed. Feedback can be verbal or non-verbal, and it plays a crucial role in ensuring successful communication. 5. Barrier. A barrier refers to any obstacle that hinders effective communication. This can include physical distractions, language differences, emotional biases, or technical issues. Barriers can distort or block the message, preventing clear understanding between the sender and receiver. Question. Give one example of each of the components you explained in the previous question. 1. Sender. The lecturer, when he asks what communication is, serves as the sender who initiates the process of communication. 2. Message. The question the lecturer gives, asking what communication is, represents the message that is conveyed during the communication process. 3. Medium. The face-to-face interaction, or voice used in the conversation, is the medium through which the message is transmitted from the lecturer to the students. 4. Feedback. When Taki replies, it is when people are having a conversation, so this serves as the feedback, where the receiver responds to the sender's message. 5. Barrier. The telephone ringing during the conversation is a barrier that interrupts the communication process and prevents effective exchange of information. Question. Name 4 factors that influence communication. The 4 factors that influence communication are: 1. Personality. The individual traits of the sender and receiver can influence how messages are encoded and interpreted. For example, an extroverted person may communicate differently from an introvert. 2. Frame of reference. This refers to a person's background, experiences, and values, which can shape their understanding and interpretation of a message. 3. Reasoning. The ability to think logically and make connections influences how well individuals comprehend and respond to messages. 4. Emotions. A person's emotional state can significantly affect both sending and receiving messages. For example, anger or sadness may distort understanding or delivery of information. Question. An effective communicator knows how to support their verbal messages with complementary nonverbal signs. Give 2 examples where the sender's nonverbal communication supports their verbal message. 1. When someone says, "I am pleased to meet you," while extending their hand to shake the hand of the person they are speaking to, the handshake reinforces the verbal expression of politeness and friendliness. 2. A salesperson who is busy at his desk and says, "How may I help you?" while standing up to face the customer, is using body language to show attentiveness and readiness to engage with the customer, supporting their verbal message of offering help. Question. The interpretation of nonverbal messages is non-universal. Explain this statement. This statement means that the same nonverbal message does not always have the same meaning for receivers of the message in different parts of the world. In some cultures, a handshake may be seen as a polite greeting, while in others, it could be viewed as too informal or disrespectful. For example, maintaining eye contact might be seen as a sign of confidence in some cultures, but considered rude or confrontational in others. Therefore, nonverbal communication is not interpreted uniformly, as cultural differences play a significant role in how these messages are perceived. Question. Differentiate between interpersonal communication and mass communication. 1. The sender. In interpersonal communication, the sender usually knows the audience, while in mass communication the sender does not know the audience. 2. The message. In interpersonal communication the message is personal. It can be prepared or spontaneous, aimed at an individual or small group. On the other hand, in mass communication the message is impersonal and usually a prepared message aimed at a large audience. 3. The channel. In interpersonal communication, the channel is either direct, face-to-face, or indirect channels such as written communication, like letters, emails, or text messages. On the other hand, mass communication is usually transmitted through technical means such as television, radio, newspapers, social media, or websites. 4. Feedback. In interpersonal communication, feedback is often immediate and can be either verbal or nonverbal, direct or indirect, while in mass communication feedback is usually delayed, often verbal and indirect, such as through ratings, comments, or audience surveys. 5. The receiver. In interpersonal communication, the receiver is usually known to the sender, allowing for more personalized interaction, while in mass communication the receiver is generally unknown to the sender, as the message is directed toward a vast and anonymous audience. Read the following scenario and answer the questions. One day Marky arrived late for work. Before she could open her office, her manager, who was standing outside his office, which is not very far from hers, looked at his watch and shook his head and said, "Again. In my office, now." "I will explain, sir," said Marky. While they were busy exchanging words, a telephone rings and the manager proceeds to answer the phone. Question. Identify the following elements of communication from the above scenario. 1. Sender. 2. Message. 3. Medium. 4. Feedback. 5. Receiver. 6. Barrier. 1. Sender. In the scenario, the manager is the one initiating the communication. As the sender, the manager conveys a message to Marky, aiming to express dissatisfaction with her repeated tardiness. The sender is always the person who starts the communication process by encoding and delivering the message. 2. Message. The message is again. In my office, now. This is the actual content of the manager's communication, conveying frustration and a command for Marky to report to his office. The message here reflects the thoughts and emotions the sender wants to communicate to the receiver, Marky, and it shapes the tone of the interaction. 3. Medium. The medium is voice or face-to-face, the channel through which the message is delivered. In this case, the message is communicated verbally through direct speech, and the communication happens face-to-face. A face-to-face medium allows for immediate interaction and the use of both verbal and non-verbal cues. 4. Feedback. Marky's response, "I will explain, sir," serves as feedback, which completes the communication loop. Her words indicate that she has received the message and is ready to explain her tardiness. Feedback is crucial in communication because it helps the sender know whether the message has been understood and allows the conversation to continue effectively. 5. The receiver. Marky is the receiver of the message. As the person to whom the message is directed, she decodes the message, processes its meaning, and provides a response. The receiver plays a key role in ensuring that communication is successful by interpreting and responding to the message accurately. 6. Barrier. The ringing telephone acts as a barrier to effective communication. Barriers are obstacles that interrupt or hinder the flow of communication. In this case, the ringing phone distracts the manager and potentially disrupts the conversation, preventing clear and continuous communication between the manager and marquee. Question. Give 2 examples of nonverbal communication from the scenario. The 2 examples of nonverbal communication from the scenario are: 1. When the manager looked at his watch. The manager checking his watch is a nonverbal cue that indicates displeasure or impatience with marquee's lateness. It sends a strong message without words, suggesting that the manager is aware of and concerned about the time. 2. When the manager shook his head. Shaking the head is another nonverbal gesture that shows disapproval or disappointment. In this context, it emphasizes the manager's frustration with marquee's repeated tardiness, reinforcing the message he is about to deliver verbally. Question. Differentiate between verbal and nonverbal communication and give 1 example of each. Verbal communication involves the use of words, either spoken or written, to convey a message. It relies on language to share information, thoughts, and ideas between the sender and receiver. Verbal communication can be direct and explicit, allowing for immediate feedback and clarification. Example: talking to someone on the phone, where spoken words are used to share information. On the other hand, nonverbal communication refers to communication that occurs without words, using body language, gestures, facial expressions, tone of voice, and other visual cues to express meaning. Nonverbal communication can complement or contradict verbal communication, and it often conveys emotions and attitudes. Example: waving a hand to greet someone, where the gesture alone sends a message of friendliness or acknowledgement without using words. Question. State 4 importance of effective communication. Effective communication is crucial for several reasons as explained below. 1. To provide, obtain, or exchange information. Effective communication is essential for the clear exchange of information. It allows individuals to share accurate facts, ideas, and data, which helps in decision-making, problem-solving, and staying informed. Whether in a workplace or personal setting, exchanging information smoothly is key to success. 2. To form or maintain healthy relationships. Communication is the foundation of relationships. Through open and effective communication, individuals can build trust, understanding, and emotional bonds. Good communication helps resolve conflicts and fosters stronger, healthier connections between people, whether in personal or professional settings. 3. To persuade others to think or act the way you do. Persuasive communication is important when influencing others. By communicating effectively, a person can convince others to adopt a certain viewpoint or take specific actions. This is especially useful in leadership roles, marketing, and teamwork, where alignment and cooperation are needed. 4. To make decisions about what you think and what you do. Effective communication provides the necessary information and insights that help individuals make informed decisions. By understanding the message clearly and receiving feedback, people can assess situations more accurately, plan actions, and decide on the best course of action. 5. To express yourself and your ideas to others. Communication is the primary way people express their thoughts, emotions, and ideas. Whether in conversations, meetings, or creative outlets, effective communication ensures that your ideas are understood by others and can lead to productive discussions, collaborations, and creative outcomes. Question. Define the term communication. Communication is a two-way process in which information, the message, is sent from one person, the sender, to another, the receiver, through a channel or medium. The process involves encoding the message by the sender, transmitting it, and then decoding it by the receiver, who reacts by providing feedback. Feedback ensures that the sender knows whether the message was understood as intended. Question. State the advantages of effective listening. Effective listening offers the following advantages. 1. It provides a means of acquiring knowledge. Effective listening helps in understanding new information and gaining insights, which is crucial for learning and decision-making. 2. It improves interpersonal relations. By listening attentively, individuals can build trust and strengthen relationships, leading to better cooperation and communication. 3. It prevents misunderstandings. Paying close attention to what is being said helps in avoiding confusion and misinterpretation of the message. 4. It saves time and money. Effective listening leads to time and cost savings. It enables faster recognition of problems and the execution of solutions, leading to more efficient operations and reduced expenses. 5. Promotes good public relations and client service. Effective listening to clients and the public promotes good public relations and customer service. In business, this fosters positive relationships and goodwill, which leads to customer satisfaction and loyalty. Question. Define the term Phatic communication and give 2 examples. Phatic communication refers to the use of words to convey feelings rather than specific content or meaning. It is often used in social interactions to create a comfortable atmosphere rather than to exchange important information. Examples. 1. When one says, "Good morning," this phrase is used to greet someone, creating a positive social interaction without conveying any deep meaning. 2. When one says, "It is very hot today," this comment is often used to initiate small talk or acknowledge the environment, rather than to inform the listener about the weather itself.
To access more learning and exam preparation materials, go to www.acemyexams.coza. This link is also in the video description below. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe and be the first to know when we upload new videos.